Hey everyone, Katie here, and I wanted to make a quick video today to answer the really frequently asked question, how long does the Sinclair, my window's open so it's like, how long does it take for the Sinclair method to work for someone to see really big results in their drinking and reducing their drinking when they go on this method, taking naltrexone in a pharmacological extinction approach to overcome alcohol addiction. So how long does this take? And the quick answer to that is that it varies totally by the individual. I have seen people who have seen drastic results and are hardly drinking at all anymore after just a few months on the method. And then I've seen people where it takes a year or more to really see those big results and be where they want to be. And there are so many contributing factors that can kind of slow us down in the whole process of the Sinclair method and ways that we can fight against that method. And I don't want to dive too deeply into that in this video, but I will just summarize some things that I see that are frequent kind of hurdles. And I've made another video about challenges on the Sinclair method, which you can view up here. But some of the challenges that I see are the environment that someone is in their home, in their work, in their life in general. If there's things that are causing extra unnecessary stress or things that are not making them feel fulfilled, or if they're in a relationship that they don't love, just anything in the environment that is inducing extra stress on the person can slow down the progress on the method. As well as having a partner in your life or family or friends who are close to you that don't support this method. So if they are kind of fighting you doing this method and you can't, drink openly in front of them and you kind of still have to sneak around and hide it, that's another thing that can slow it down. How are you going into it with your mindset and your heart set and your spirit? Are you going into it with fear, thinking, oh my God, this isn't going to work for me? Or are you going into it with more curiosity and a really positive mindset, like, hey, this works for 75% or so of people. Odds are it's going to work for me, and I'm just going to trust the process and trust that it's going to work. Getting stuck in a habit is another thing that can really slow it down. I think, again, going back to like if you have added stressors in your life and you're still using alcohol to kind of cope at the end of the day and numb, even though you're not craving it as much, you're still in that habit. That's something that can slow people down. And again, linked to kind of coping, I think it's really important to get outside support when you're on this method, whatever that means to you. Because often if we've had a troubled relationship with alcohol, means we've kind of maybe have emotions that we haven't dealt with, or have things that surface as we're getting more sober that are going to require some, resilience to get through. And so having a therapist or a support system, having a program, getting a lot of body work, just spending a lot of time with yourself, doing inner inquiry, a lot of self-care. Because I've seen people who are doing well on the method and then some stuff starts to come up, that they've been using alcohol to numb out on, and all of a sudden they aren't complying on the method, or they're just drinking more or drinking unconsciously because, again, these triggers, these emotional triggers that can drive us to drink more. And so making sure that you feel supportive and you ask for help and get help on the method. I know sometimes we think of this as like, it's just a pill, let's get the pill and it will do the work. And that's another thing that can really slow the process down, is when you rely too much on the medication just to do the work for you. And I see people have more awareness around this. They're aware that they're just relying on the pill and they're not really doing the work themselves. I think the pill is obviously crucial and vital to success on this method. I don't think I would be sober today if it wasn't for naltrexone, but it also requires us to do a lot of work on ourselves in a way that's really compassionate and kind, and allowing ourselves to really be on a healing journey. Another thing that can kind of slow down the progress on this method is lack of mindfulness or lack of awareness in your drinking experience. For many of us, our drinking has been this unconscious behavior that we kind of are doing kind of habitually every day. And yes, we're biologically addicted, but we're also kind of just doing it on an unconscious level, pouring our drinks, drinking, getting drunk, all of that stuff. And so when we don't have mindfulness, when we don't have this light of awareness, when we're not paying attention to our experience when we drink, we can still, again, fall back on the habitual aspect of it and kind of drink unconsciously just because it's what we've done for years or decades. And so mindfulness is just simply paying attention to the experience of drinking. How does it taste? How do you feel? What are you thinking when you pour your first drink, your second drink? Can you pause between drinks? Can you have water? Can you have snacks? All these things that you can do to kind of just incorporate more mindfulness into the experience. And I feel like using the naltrexone, it gives us that spaciousness within ourselves to have that mindfulness. Before I used naltrexone and I would try to mindfully drink on my own, I was just like craving it and be like 2 drinks in and be like, screw it, I'm gonna go for it. But with the Sinclair method and how it works with the naltrexone to kind of quiet your cravings, reduce the impulse to drink, it really gives us that opportunity to create more spaciousness, to not just drink, 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 but to really pause, notice what we feel, notice why we're drinking. And then from there, hopefully what happens is you get insights to understand more of yourself and why you're drinking and the truth of who you are. And in my experience, that gave me a lot of motivation to start incrementally making changes and doing things to improve my life. So I think that's enough for this video, just to answer that question. You know, how long does it take? People email me asking me this all the time. People who've gotten started after just a couple of weeks and they're not seeing immediate results and they're feeling disappointed. And so I think it's really important to know that, you know, if I were to give someone a timeline, if they're getting started on this method, I would say to give it a year. You might be pleasantly surprised and see amazing results in a few months, but to really realize that that's a realistic timeline and to not rush yourself and to really take all the time you need to allow yourself to heal from the alcohol dependence through this method. So thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful. Bye.